What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
It's time!
Welcome back to a special edition of Software Explorations Concepts. Oh no, not what? Look at that already, messing up already. A special edition of Software Explorations. We are going to be getting into the newest Netflix SafeTest live testing framework that they have just recently announced and came out with. So we're going to be looking at that, exploring that. So that is our goal for tonight. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do to start off the show, right, I am going to drop a couple of links into the chat so that if you are interested in following along on this journey, on this exploration, you can surely do that with me. So I'm going to drop a link to the GitHub repo for the SafeTest. And I'm going to drop a link to the sample site that we're going to be using to use SafeTest on. It is a BMI calculator, right? Let's do BMI calculator. Boom. So now we have them both in here. So you can go ahead and clone those repos while we get started, while I go through agenda and our talking points. And then we can get started with our show. All right. So if you're interested in following along, clone both of those repos, the SafeTest and the BMI calculator. We're going to start up that BMI calculator and we will be off to the races. All right. So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We're going, like, you know how much I love to explore new software and things like that. So we're going to, we're going to do what we do on this channel, on the Tech Coach Ralph channel. But if you don't know who I am, if you are new to the show, let me introduce myself. I am your humble host, the most humble host you will ever find, Tech Coach Ralph, where we are, as always, engineered to win. Everything we do is structured around winning. The decisions that we make, the people that we associate with, the networking events that we attend, everything that we do, it is on the goal towards success, on the goal to winning. All right. So shout out to that. All right. So let's get into our agenda for the night. So we have a lot of things we're going to cover tonight. And, so join us for the ride. Okay. So first and foremost, as I always like to do, I want to say a big shout out to all of the newest subscribers, as well as those who have been subscribed for a while, who have been rocking with me from a long time ago. I really, really appreciate you all.
I appreciate you.
And one more. I'm gonna cheer for you, because you are awesome. And you know what? I really hope to see Mitch in the chat tonight, even if it's just a single, even if it's half a thumbs up. I hope he shows up because he might still be exhausted from our extensive conversation on the Q&A show on Tuesday. It was so much fun. We got so many questions answered, so much accomplished. So if you haven't seen that Q&A show, I would highly, highly recommend you go and take a look at that. It was fun. It was interesting. It was informative. So definitely check out that. But I do hope Mitch pops up with at least half a thumbs up, maybe like a this, right? Half a thumbs up. We don't know. We shall see. We shall see if Mitch is in the building tonight. All right. So let's get to it. All right. So next up, I want to say a big salute to my tech barbarians, my tech prodigy plus members, and my tech explorers for putting in the work every single day. We are doing a lot of good things in the Patreon. If you didn't see the community post, I put out I made a video about how to get prepared for when we go on our endeavor of applying the agile methodology to our daily lives, whether we're studying, whether we are working out, whether anything that we're doing, we can apply the agile methodology, and that will help you get prepared for when you get that job that you really want. Like a lot of times we say, oh, I want a chance, I want a chance, I want a job, I want a job, I want a job, but you don't prepare. You are very ill prepared for that job, and that is why I don't think you deserve a chance. If you don't put in the work, you don't deserve the chance. You think, from what I've seen, all these people who attend the boot camps and stuff like that, and then they go apply for jobs, when you put their feet to the fire just a little bit, they burn out and they can't handle it. And you know what? Honestly, companies, they don't want to take that chance because it's expensive. If out of 100, 5 work out, I personally don't think that's like a 5% success rate at the amount that it costs. I wouldn't do it. I personally wouldn't do it. Just like trying to train people and coach them up is hard. So if you're trying to make money and you have to I don't know. I don't see it as a winning investment in my eyes, but that's why you need mentorship and coaching, So take that for what it's worth. All right, let's jump into our live show schedule. We have our morning show Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Coffee and Kata at 7:15 a.m. Eastern time. So if you are up, which you should be up, definitely should be up, join us in the mornings. We're going to be going live tomorrow morning where we are going to review some news articles as well as working on our Flutter, mobile development. We are focused on test-driven development. Some things that I was trying to figure out yesterday, I figured it out, and we are going to give an update on it. And we're going to continue writing our tests. I said we're going to write all of our tests for the code that we've written so far, and then we're going to start implementing the new features. I have some feature ideas that the beta testers have given me, so we are eventually going to implement some of those and go from there. But first and foremost, we have to implement our tests. All right, so join us in the morning for that. Sunday afternoons, we have software explorations. We are learning Terraform. I have some updates about Terraform, but yes, we are learning Terraform, and we are going to we're going to be looking into what we're going to be doing this coming Sunday. We might be either going to database, or we're going to be looking at the Elastic Container Registry, right? But regardless of which it is, we're going to be doing that through Terraform. So definitely join us this coming Sunday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so definitely tune in. Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A sessions. We had an amazing Q&A session this past Tuesday. So many questions answered, questions asked, questions answered, giving you my perspective from someone who's been in the tech industry, focused on QA, tech industry for 20 years, focused on QA for the past 15. So definitely want to tune in for those. And then Thursday nights, tonight, we have more software explorations. We've been going through the Free Mind Recovery app. It's a mental health app created by a calculus coder, Jared, on YouTube. And we've been writing automation tests using Cypress, Playwright, and Selenium. And we the last part we left off was implementing the page object model. We're going to continue that tonight. However, I saw this information about Netflix SafeTest. So I said, you know what? Let's do a little bit of pivot because we need to do a software exploration. We need to do a fully deep dive, but we need to find out a little bit more about this to see if this is something that would be useful to us, you know. So we're gonna explore it the same way we explored Amazon Q, the chatbot for businesses. We're going to be exploring Netflix. Hopefully it doesn't cost me as much as it did for Amazon Q, but it is what it is, you know. You guys are worth it. So that is what we're doing tonight, and that's what we do on Thursday nights, right? Software explorations. We are focused a little bit more on QA right now. So shout out to our live show schedule. All right. So what is up next? Our pre-recorded content. So Mondays, we have candid conversations. You and I, we have a little chat. We have some real talk, and I let you know what I see, what I'm thinking, how I think that you could do just a little bit better so that you can accomplish your goals, accomplish your dreams. I'm not really a big person on dreams because dreams happen when you're sleeping, right? I think dreams are kind of, yeah, right? But goals, you set those when you're awake and you can go and get after those. Dreams, not so much. Nightmares, a lot of times dreams turn into nightmares, right? So let's go and set some goals and let's crush it, all right? So Mondays, candid conversations. Wednesdays, software explorations, concepts, and overviews. Did you guys see that intro to GRC yesterday? Governance, risk management, and compliance. I was watching it during the premiere and I was like, damn, this is a damn good video. Sometimes I even impress myself. Thank you. Thank you. You shouldn't have. Well, maybe you should. But anyways, definitely check that out if you haven't seen it yet. It was really, really good. And I think that if you are interested in cybersecurity, the intro to GRC, where I'm learning along with you what it is a great starting point. And we're going to continue going through it in the coming weeks. So definitely check that out. All right. So next up, we have Fridays, the Bug Bite, where we review different software related or company related cybersecurity type bugs or, you know, things that are related, right? So this coming Friday, tomorrow, we're going to be looking at Elon Musk saying, don't do business in Delaware and threatening to move Tesla to Texas after a Delaware judge you know what? I just thought about this. This is another person that this just happened to, right? The judge just said, you know what? I don't think your compensation is right. That was decided by the board. So I'm just going to change it. Right. So, you know, anyways, so that is that. So definitely check that out tomorrow. And then throughout the week, we have shorts and we have clips from the Q&A show that gets released daily. So check that out one more time. Mondays, candid conversations. Wednesdays, software explorations, concept and overviews. Fridays, the Bug Bite. And throughout the week, we have shorts as well as clips from the Q&A show that are released daily. All right. So shout out to that. All right, and if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time that we go live or drop new content, all right? So much content coming out on a daily basis, and it is all to help you win, to help you level up, all right? So definitely subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. All right, next up, I'm just giving you a brief update on Tuesday. I read to you a little bit of a testimonial on Sox University from one of our beta testers who said how much it is helping her. You know what? I'm gonna read it again actually, because those who are here now may not have seen the show on Tuesday. I just wanted to share part of this testimonial, not the whole entire thing, but just parts of it, so you can see what is going on at Sox University and what is to come. All right. So this says, hey, Sox, I am so glad to have this hands-on training because when I tell you, I thought I knew a little of something about cybersecurity, boy, was I wrong. I don't know what the hell He said, I don't know what the hell, in all caps, I'm doing, and would have been fired from a cybersecurity job by now. Within like a week, they would have been out of there, right? But, however, they say, I'm figuring it out though. I'm grateful because I never realized that there is so much more to knowing, understanding, and being able to complete a task in a cyber security role. Right? So I'm going to stop it right there, right? But that is the feedback that we got from one of our beta testers at Sox University. So we are going to be opening Sox University to the public very, very soon. So just wanted to give you a heads up to look out for that. It is coming. So and all the instructions will be all the details will be following soon. There will be a sign up code where you can get a discount for a little bit of time if you are a subscriber, member of the channel, whatever the case may be, or a Patreon member. If you're a Patreon member, you might get a higher discount than if you are just a YouTube subscriber. So we shall see. All right. So I will let you know the details about that when we get closer to the date, but just want to give you a heads up. Sox University coming soon. All right. Next up, we have my boy Don that you saw live with us last week on our cybersecurity Q&A night, who works on Chaos Camp, creating amazing challenges to help you level up in your development and your QA skills, right? That is my boy Don. He is absolutely phenomenal, and that's why I always share his Chaos Camp GitHub repo. So go ahead and check it out. Do a Chaos Camp challenge today, okay? You won't regret it. Trust me, you won't regret it, okay? And lastly, but certainly not least, we have my friends over at Grammar Hub, right? And guess what? All of these things that I'm sharing with you, I don't want any compensation for it. It's just things that I find that are useful and great resources that I am sharing with you so that you can go level up. Because guess what? I am only one person. As crazy as you see my work schedule is and how much content I put out and everything like that, I can only do so much because, hey, time is money and I have to pay for sleep sometimes, right? I pay for sleep. So, sleep is expensive to me. So I have to pay for sleep sometimes, and go from there. So everything, when you see my time cost calculator, all that is for real. I pay for my sleep. I pay for my time to eat. I pay for everything that I do. And that's why I work so hard and tirelessly here and at work and everything that I do, working hard because I have to be able to afford to sleep. All right. So shout out to sleep. All right. So with that being said, if you need a tech community that has weekly meetings, that's going to help you learn. They're going to review your resume. They're going to do a mock interview and they are going to help you with your networking. Just from going to one meeting, you can get like 10 to 15 new contacts on LinkedIn, and they'll teach you new concepts and stuff like that. They'll help you with your resume because although I do that, I do that on a one-on-one basis for my Patreon members, but they do it in a group setting where they all help you win. So that's why I send people over there, because I just don't have the capacity to do it for as many people as it would be nice for me to do it, right? So that's why I am going to send you over to Grammar Hub, join their Discord, right? Instead of there's so many Discords that you're in, right? So many stacks that you're in, but how many of them actually add the type of value that you need to level up into your career and your technical skills, all that. So definitely join it. Tell them that Tech Coach Ralph sent you, and I'll see you in there. Just the other day, I did a presentation. It was on February 5th, right? I did a presentation on, giving them some insight on QA, because a lot of them are developers, and a lot of times developers, they don't know that much about QA, right? They just maybe they know a little bit about unit testing, but that might be about it. So I gave them a good overview of what QA is, what QA engineers do, and all that good stuff. And that's the type of work that we do in there. So I would definitely highly recommend that you join that Discord for Grammar Hub and go from there. Okay. So that is that. All right. So those are our announcements for tonight. All right. Those are our announcements for tonight. And now let's jump into what we like to talk about, we're going to talk about the Agile Manifesto, right? We're going to go to the 9th principle out of 12. All right. So let's just jump over to our other screen right here. The 9th principle of the Agile Manifesto is continuous attention to technical excellence. Shout out to excellence.
We the best.
Continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility, right? So the better the better you do something, the more you'll be able to maneuver, the more you'll be able to pivot. It's like, thinking about jiu-jitsu, we always say technique over strength, right? I've had to train with some big guys before, and and I'm a tiny little person, and I'm able to do some things that you wouldn't believe, right? You wouldn't believe some of the moves that I'm able to accomplish because of my and especially because of my size. I have to focus on technique. So paying attention to technical excellence and a good design is what is going to enhance your ability to be agile, to be able to pivot, to write nice, clean code. All right. So that is our 9th principle of the Agile Manifesto. I'm going to drop that in the chat for you. Take heed. All right. Take heed. Okay. So there we go. Next up on our agenda, let's go back up here. We are okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna share you some more feedback, right? Some more feedback and this one comes from one of my tech barbarians who works in QA, and they said, I helped one of the developers troubleshoot a bug, and I ended up finding the root cause, and he was able to fix the issue. Yes. And that's what we do here with the tech barbarians, right? Leveling up, getting better every single day. All right, but wait, there's more. We used to work together on a team that fixed product defects for tech support, so it was kind of fun. Oh, and more good news, right? Since I'm one of the people with some Selenium knowledge, I got invited to a meeting to set up the repos for the Selenium tests. Although it's a different team, but at least now I'm getting acknowledged by other departments as QA automation, right? So, and that was the goal when my tech barbarian joined and said, hey, I need to get better at automation. I used to be a developer. I used to do some UI UX, and now I find myself in QA, but I need to learn like mobile automation and this and that. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's get to it. This is the plan that we're going to follow. This is our time frame. And now we are getting after it. All right. So shout out to my tech barbarians. All right. So next up, I'm just going to let you know what I'm working on. And then we're going to get into the closing of the intro and we're going to get to work. All right. So what am I working on? Right. Let me give you the rundown real quick. All right. So let's just do a little. All right, so at work, right? I'm doing my regular QA stuff, test plans, dev testing, all of that, right? So that goes from sprint to sprint. Like this past sprint that we just did, we ended our last sprint today, and we started a new one today. But I was running a bunch of scripts to help save the company a bunch of money, and just doing different stuff and regular QA stuff. So this coming sprint, I said, I'm going to do some Terraform work and this Terraform work is to enhance our automation, right? So everything that I've been learning for the past 6 months since we started working on Terraform, I'm able to start putting it to use to get a better understanding. And while I'm at it, I might even finish up that other Terraform thing that we're working on a few months ago, back in December. But so I said, I'm going to take on some Terraform work, going outside of my comfort zone just a little bit. Which we're gonna read about that during one of our breaks, right? But that's what we're doing. And then I'm going to be adding some more tests to our repos so that once we make some upgrades, it will be very, very smooth. All right. So that's what's going on at work. Personally, right? So I'm building out the API using test-driven development for a new mobile app that I'm thinking about that I'm going to be building. More details on that to come later. I'm still figuring out which language I want to write this API. I can go between Python or Node. So I'm still thinking about that. I'm not sure yet exactly which route I'm going to go, but it will be a mobile app. So I don't know if that's going to play a factor. And then I'm working on, as you heard earlier, in the mornings, and offline as well. I'm working on doing the test-driven development for the time cost calculator mobile app. Although I'm kind of like writing the test now for it. But in the going forward, now that I have a better understanding of it, we will be doing test-driven development for any new features. And I'm going to be implementing some new features based on the some recommendations from some beta testers. So that's where we're headed with that. All right. And then for the tech barbarians, we are currently in our sprint working on creating a database and a schema for the quotes API. We are going to be moving away from the ghetto implementation of using a Google Sheet as our API response. All right. So check out the current version of our app, of the Poopy Pants Quotes app, where, if you need some encouraging words from David Goggins, it is the place to get it. All right. So check out the Poopy Pants Quotes app. It's currently only a web app right now, but it will be a mobile app in the near future. All right. So check that out. All right. And then I also connected one of my mentees to a startup to work on a real app that is about to go into production for everyone to use so that they can get some actual QA experience and not just projects that nobody will ever see. Because my goal is whatever my tech barbarians work on, I want them to be able to go to interview and first they put it on their resume, and not as projects, but as experiencing for this company. I built this. I worked on building this app and everything like that. And then now they're in the interviews, they can lay out all the things that they did and say, yeah, just go to the app store. You can see this app right here. And this is the website for it. And this is what I did. These are the bugs that I caught. Real life work. All right. So that's what I'm working on. So that's another thing that we're working on in the Patreon for my tech barbarians. So shout out to all the work that's going on. So now my question to you is, what are you working on? What are you working on? All right. All right. Next up, we have our last announcements before we get started. Right. So if you haven't seen yet, the channel has membership. So if you are interested in becoming a member of the channel, go ahead and click the join and you can get access to some custom emojis, as well as you get to see the Q&A videos that are released way ahead of time before they get published to everyone else. And as we go along, I will also figure out some additional benefits for the supporters of the YouTube channel. You can become a tech mercenary. All right. Okay. And then we have, of course, as always, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live or drop new content. And lastly, if you need additional assistance, if you need one-on-one coaching, if you need me to review your resume, if you need, and when I say review your resume, not just like reading it and give you some feedback, where we can actually dissect it together and update it together, as well as doing mock interviews before you actually have an interview, or getting just general coaching on through a course that you're taking, or just trying to level up your career, whatever the case may be. If you need that personalized help, or you just need access to more content, go ahead and check out the Patreon at www.techcoachralph.dev, which I will drop the link in the chat. It is also pinned to the top of the chat. All right. So lastly, now before we get started, we need some energy, right? Let's get some energy, okay?
Please offer me your energy. I ask of you, please.
All right. So we're going to get started. Okay. So this is how the night's going to go, right? We are going to read through the Medium article where they're talking about SafeTest. And then we're going to read through the GitHub repo, and we'll just the things that are repetitive in the GitHub repo, we'll just skip through that. And I already shared the link in the chat for SafeTest, but I'll share it again once we get closer. So we're going to read through that, and then we're going to check out the BMI calculator repo, and we're going to clone that. And we are going to start that up and then see how we can start using SafeTest to test it. All right. So based on the documentation, and then through our breaks, our first break, we're going to start reading the networking article by Bridget that we read part 1 maybe 2 weeks ago. We're going to start reading part 2. Then on our second break, we're going to be watching a little video from Uncle Bob, aka Robert C. Martin, about QA, saying, what should QA find when testing? That is a very, very good question. I am curious to know, what do you think QA should find when they are testing? We're going to take a look at that, as well as watch the video together. And then the last break, which I think is going to be the last break, we're going to be talking about reframing stress. All right. And that's also by Bridget's article, one of my tech barbarians. All right. So that is the plan for tonight. So let's get to it. All right. Let's put our timer up. And let's swoop over to start reading about SafeTest. Let me zoom in a little bit, and then we're going to do it like we're going to put our first 20 minutes on the clock. All right.
It's time to do.
That was, hold on one second. Okay, cool. Just a LinkedIn message from somebody who I am helping out. Okay. So let's get to it. All right. We have our time going. Let's get to work. Okay. So the first thing we're going to be reading, Introducing SafeTest, a novel approach to front-end testing. And this is on the Netflix technology blog. All right. I should follow that. Let's follow that. All right. And so this is by Moosh Kolodny. And I believe this person is responsible for putting this framework together, as it is under his name in GitHub. So let's see. All right. So in this post, we're excited to introduce SafeTest, a revolutionary library that offers a fresh perspective to end-to-end testing for web-based user interface UI applications. The challenge of traditional testing, right? So let's see how we can relate to these challenges, right? Traditionally, UI tests have been conducted through either unit testing or integration testing, also referred to as end-to-end E2E testing. However, each of these methods present a unique trade-off. You have to choose between controlling the test fixture and setup or controlling the test driver. For instance, when using React Testing Library, a unit testing solution, you maintain complete control over what to render and how the underlying services and imports should behave. However, you lose the ability to interact with an actual page, which can lead to a myriad of pain points. Difficulty in interacting with complex UI elements like drop-down component, inability to test core setup or GraphQL calls, lack of visibility into Z-index issues affecting clickability of buttons, complex and unintuitive authoring and debugging of tests. Conversely, using integration testing tools like Cypress or Playwright provide control over the page, but sacrifices the ability to instrument the bootstrapping code for the app. These tools operate by remotely controlling a browser to visit a URL and interact with the page. This approach has its own set of challenges. Difficulty in making calls to an alternative API endpoint without implementing custom network layers API rewrite rules. Inability to make assertions and on spies, mocks, or execute code within the app. Testing something like dark mode entails clicking the theme switcher or knowing the local storage mechanism to override. Inability to test segments of the app. For example, if a component is only visible after clicking a button and waiting for a 60-second timer to count down, the test will need to run those actions and will be at least a minute long. So, recognizing these challenges, solutions like end-to-end component testing have emerged with offerings from Cypress and Playwright. While these tools attempt to rectify the shortcomings of traditional integration testing methods, they have other limitations due to their architecture. They start a dev server with bootstrapping code to load the component and or set up code you want, which limits their ability to handle complex enterprise applications that might have OAuth or complex build pipeline. Moreover, updating TypeScript usage could break your test until the Cypress Playwright team update their runners. So, with that being said, welcome to SafeTest. SafeTest aims to address these issues with a novel approach to UI testing. The main idea is to have a snippet of code in our application bootstrapping stage that injects hooks to run our tests. See how the SafeTest works section for more info on what this is doing, and that is here. Okay. Note that this works has no measurable impact on the regular usage of your app, since SafeTest leverages the lazy loading to dynamically load the test only when running the test. In the README example, the tests aren't in the production bundle at all. Awesome. Once that is in place, we can use Playwright to run regular tests, thereby achieving the ideal browser control we want for our tests. This approach also unlocks some exciting features: deep linking to a specific test without needing to run a node test server, two-way communication between the browser and test node context, access to all the DX features that come with Playwright, excluding the ones that come with Playwright/test, video recording of tests, trace viewing and pause page functionality for trying out different page selectors and actions, and ability to make assertions on spies in the browser in Node, matching snapshot of the call within the browser, right? So that's what all this does. So let's take a quick look at some examples. SafeTest is designed to feel familiar to anyone who has conducted UI tests before, as it leverages the best parts of existing solutions. Here's an example of how to test an entire application. So we have importing describe from SafeTest, render from SafeTest React. So SafeTest is using Just, and it's using React. And it says, all right, describe my app loads the main page. So I do like how it reads in these frameworks, right? So my app loads the main page, and we'll wait for the page to render. And we expect the page to get by welcome to the app to be visible, and we expect the screenshot to match the image snapshot. So I think this is really cool, actually, right here, where you can be matching the images. All right, so we can just easily test a specific component, right? So we're testing the header component has a normal mode. So we render the page and we say get by admin to not be visible, and it has an admin. And admin returns true. When that renders admin returns true, then now we expect admin to be visible. So I think what they're doing here is they are taking this component, and when it's just a regular header, it's going to say the admin link is not visible. But when the header is set with admin equals true, because maybe when the person signs in, it is going to set the admin that part as true. And then it should show you a link to the admin, right? And then it says it calls the logout handler when signing out. So it says, all right, so spy browser mock, and then await render header to handle logout. And then it has passing in this. And it says await page get by text to be log out, and you click it. And then await spy to have been called. All right. So next up, leveraging overrides. SafeTest utilizes React context to allow for value overrides during tests. For example, for an example of how this works, let's assume we have a fetch people function using a component. So this is the fetch people function where it's being imported from the API person. And it says, okay, export this, React here, and then it says use fetch people. If loading, return loader. If error, return error page. Return. So I'm not too familiar with what this means, right? But it says we can modify people component to use an override. All right, so this is the people component. Where is the override? Constant fetch people. Fetch person use value. Fetch person. Yeah, I'm not so familiar with this part, so we might have to do some more investigation on that. We can override in our test. So we'll get to that a little bit further down. So these are some just more examples. We can also use page route. We can and I was actually just working with overrides are limited to just API calls, since we can also use page route. We can also override specific app level values like feature flags or changing some static values. So that's very cool. And then it has reporting as well, video, trace, view component, SafeTest in corporate environments. So let's read this. Many large corporations need a form of authentication to use the app. Typically, navigating to localhost 3000 just results in a perpetually loading page. You need to go to a different port like localhost 8000, which has a proxy server to check and or inject auth credentials into underlying service calls. This limitation is one of the main reasons that Cypress and Playwright component tests aren't suitable for us for use at Netflix. However, there's usually a service that can generate test users whose credentials we can use to log in and interact with the application. This facilitates creating a light wrapper around SafeTest to automatically generate and assume that test user. For instance, here's basically how we do it at Netflix. So let's see how Netflix does it, right? So, okay, so it says import create user from Netflix test helper, setting up the test as well. So type, setup, parameter, extra user options, and hooks before add a cookie to the page. Before all, create user option, extra user option. Okay. After setting this up, we simply import the package in place where we would like to have use SafeTest setup, right? So it's like they'll just import setup Netflix into like where they're going to be doing this test, and then that user will just be automatically logged in by doing that. So I think that's very very cool, because I know a lot of people have issues with authenticating. And if you can authenticate using this method, that would be really, really cool. Very, very helpful. All right. So definitely want to check that out. That we're setting up. Okay. So beyond React, while this post focused on how SafeTest works with React, it's not limited to just React. SafeTest also works with Vue, with Svelte, I guess the S is silent, with Angular, and can even run on Next.js or Gatsby. Right. Oh, I gotta let my friend Maria know about this. Right. It also runs using either Jest or Vitest based on which test runner your scaffolding started you off with. The example folder demonstrates how to use SafeTest with different tooling combinations, and we encourage contributions to add more cases. Maybe I'll contribute to some more cases. We shall see, right? At its core, SafeTest is an intelligent glue for a test runner, a UI library, and a browser runner. Though the most common usage at Netflix employs Jest, React, and Playwright, it's easy to add more adapters for other options. All right, so could we possibly add Sodium? I don't know. We shall see, right? And in conclusion, SafeTest is a powerful testing framework that's being adopted within Netflix. It allows for easy authoring of tests and provides comprehensive reports when and how any failures occurred, complete with links to view a playback video or manually run the test steps to see what broke. We are excited to see how it will revolutionize UI testing and look forward to your feedback and contribution. So shout out to my friend, although this person has absolutely no idea who I am, but my testing buddy at Netflix, Moosh Kolondi. Him and his team for the amazing work they did putting this framework together, okay? So let's continue now. Let's go over to, let's just skim through this real quick to see if there's anything additional that we need to see here. Features Playwright integration. Why SafeTest? We kind of read this through already. All right. So here we go. When we're going to install it, we're going to add it as a dependency. So we don't have to clone this repo. Actually, we're just going to. It's already an npm, so we're going to do that. Add run command to package. So we're going to do that. If you're using Vitest, we're not using Vitest actually. I don't know if we're using anything, but and then add add a setup.tsx file in the root, and bootstrapping your application. In order for SafeTest to be able to work with your application, you need to bootstrap it to load. This is done by modifying your application's entry point, usually index.tsx, as follows, right there, and creating your first test, right? Then you're going to get to here. Your app needs to already be running to run your test. SafeTest would not start your app for you. Okay, so cool. Now that you're created your first test, you can run it using npm run SafeTest. All right. And then there's a way to integrate it with the CI/CD. So I'm definitely gonna try this out, and then I'll definitely try this out at work. And definitely like one thing that we're gonna get into, probably more on our DevOps hybrid side, is like setting up a CI/CD. We'll probably set up, why not? Why not? I'm gonna call it right now, right? Why not set up Jenkins? Why not set up Jenkins? Why not set up Circle CI if we're able to? Or why not set up Team City? And why not see if we can do it through GitHub as well, right? We're gonna try it out, right? But now let's jump over to the repo that we're going to be cloning. We're going to be using the BMI calculator. There's some pictures. I mean, very simple React app. I just found anything that I could. Hopefully, I didn't even clone it yet. So hopefully, this can work for us. But let's find out, right? So we're gonna get this URL. Hopefully, it works. I have no idea. If not, we'll have to find another one. We're gonna get this, and we're gonna go to clone. So I am going to. Let's see. Let me get a. Trying to see how I'm going to save this. Let's see all right. So I'm going to put it in the WebStorm folder. Excuse me. All right. So we're going to go git clone. Kind of small, but we're not going to be on this for long. All right. BMI calculator is downloaded. All right. We're going to go. Let me open the project in WebStorm. All right, we're gonna swoop over. All right, so we have the BMI project that we just cloned opened, and we are going to install packages from dependencies. I was gonna do it via. Let's not do that. We're gonna do npm install. And so it's installing that, and then we're going to we'll do an npm start just to see if it actually starts up. Make sure that we can actually use this repo, or if we need to pivot and find another one, because that would be unfortunate if the one that I chose did not work because it might be too old. Who knows, right? But let's wait for it to download, and then we shall start it up and go from there. All right, so let's see, still going. A lot of deprecated stuff. Hopefully this project isn't too old. Let's see. It's not done yet. Almost done. Almost done. I guess the bot took a night off. I don't know where it's at tonight. Very weird, bot. Still not done yet. Oh my goodness, this thing is taking forever. Seemed like a very simple little package. All right. Please upgrade your dependencies.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
All right, let's just wait for this to be done and then we're going to go to break. And then we shall continue. Once we go to break, we're going to read the first part of our article from my friend Bridget. But I don't know why this thing is taking so long. Oh, goodness gracious. So weird. This is a lot of milliseconds, I'll tell you that. I'm going to stop it and start it again. Oh well. Let's see. Let me stop it and start it again because that's just taking too long for my liking. Do one more. Let's see. All right, there we go. There we go. Some stuff to address, a lot of vulnerabilities, but let's see if we do it. npm audit fix. That does anything for us? Somewhat. Hmm. So weird. All right, so this is almost done, and then we can get to our next step. Let's see if I try this. Let's see what happens. Nothing. I don't know what's going on with this bot. It's so weird. All right, here we are. So I don't know. All right, cool. So let's just do npm start, see if it starts up. Actually, I'm gonna do it through here. Actually, let's go to. Mm, the only reason I don't want to start it that way is because if I start it this way, then the issue I'm gonna have is that when I stop it, then I might have some issues with go to edit configuration. Let's add. Let's do a Node.js. No, not Node.js. We want to do npm. And we want the command to be start. Arguments. I don't know. Let's see if that works. The React package provided requires a dependency. Let's see. All right, we'll fix that when we come back. We shall fix that when we come back, right? So that's where we are. We are working on trying to start up this app so that we can continue with our SafeTest testing. We'll see. All right. So we're going to talk about now. We are going to read this part of my friend Bridget's article that she wrote about the beginner's guide to networking. So let's put 5 minutes up on the clock, but we'll read this first part of the article and then we'll go from there. Okay. So 5 minutes are up. And if you have not done so yet, go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. And if you need personalized coaching from me, check out www.techcoachralph.dev where you can sign up for one-on-one coaching. All right. So let's get to it. Okay. So this is part 2 of Bridget's beginner's guide to networking. Okay. All right. So growth happens outside of your comfort zone.
Message.
All right. So you read part 1. We read it like 2 weeks ago, and you are ready to network. Look at you go. You've been scouring social media for people to follow and connect with. You click on that message button to send them a DM, but you talk yourself out of it. There are many possible reasons why. Maybe, just maybe, you have ADHD and you are afraid you will say the wrong thing. This is one of the issues I deal with. Me too. Maybe you have social anxiety and you struggle to talk to people. Maybe you are an introvert who would rather not talk to someone new. I don't even like talking to people that I know, so trust me, I get it. Maybe you think that you are just mediocre newbie that nobody wants to talk to you. This brings us to the second part of this networking series and addresses the question I get asked about the most. What if, and then you fill in the blank. I get that question asked as well. This is the hardest obstacle to overcome when it comes to networking for most people. What do you and I have in common? I'm in the tech industry right now. I'm a career changer. I have kids. I grew up in rural Wisconsin. I'm just a regular person. What about you and that head of engineering you want to talk to? What about the president of the United States? At the end of the day, regardless of title, position, social status, or otherwise, we are all people. Facts. Please remember this. You are a person. You are reaching out to someone else who is a person as well. We tend to give people more power than they deserve. It is incredibly stressful if you are approaching every interaction as one that could make or break your career. And trust me, that is not true. There are a million people out there and you just got to find your fit. You have to find the people who are going in the same direction that you are going with. Shout out to Anton Daniels. Don't let a stranger have so much power over you. All right. So there are 2 things we need to address before we can get into the strategies for getting up the nerve to talk to people. First, we are our own worst enemies.
Message.
How often do you call yourself stupid or think of yourself as a nobody? If we talk to other people in the way we talk to ourselves, we wouldn't want to talk to us either. But the thing is, we don't talk to other people the way we talk to ourselves. We are much nicer than that. This brings up the second point. Nobody thinks about you more than you. That is a fact.
Message.
That is a fact. Like, trust me. No one cares about you. No one's thinking about you. So get over yourself, right? Before the pandemic, I worked part-time as a personal trainer. So many people are afraid of the gym because of what other people might think about them. However, unless you are doing something dangerous or obnoxious, which some people do, nobody is really thinking about you. They are too busy thinking about themselves, just like you are busy thinking about yourself, right? So no one cares, right? So it says, same thing goes on in day-to-day life. How many people do you encounter every day and never think twice about them? I would say it's a good 99.9987629%, right? 99.999687629%, right? That is how much I never think twice about the people that I meet on a daily basis, right? It's unfortunate. And that is a problem that I have, and I agree that I need to work on it, all right? So, when we are networking, though, we want people to remember us in a good way. Trust me, in a good way. You want people to remember you.
Get a move on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on. Get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
How many people do we remember in a negative way, of course, right? So with that being said, that's the first part we're going to be reading tonight of my friend Bridget's and my Tech Barbarians article on part 2 on the beginner's guide to networking. All right. So let's go back to our full screen. We are going to get back to working on to get this BMI calculator to start, and then we're going to integrate SafeTest into it. So let's join us for the ride. And before we get back, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. And if you need some personal one-on-one help with me, go ahead to go over to www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can sign up for the Patreon, or you can sign up for one-on-one training or one-on-one coaching, as well as access to exclusive content like the live stream that we will be doing soon about how to implement the agile methodology in your life so you can be ready for when you hit the workforce and you don't have to be a burden. You can start adding value immediately. So many times I get the question, how can I start adding value immediately? And I'm like, well, you need to do stuff that they do at work so you can know what you're doing and you're not like, all right? So that is the plan, all right? That is the plan, all right? Let's get back to work. Let's throw up another 20 minutes on the clock.
Let's go! Let's go!
And we're going back to shared screen. So let's try to figure out this error, right? Okay, because this is some weird repo. Let's see. Let's make this bigger. It's annoying. This that's it. Okay. So, yeah. Did I do this wrong? Let me see something. Edit configuration. Let's just say start. Apply. Run. Let's see what happens here. So we get the same error, but it still tries to start. So it says, all right. So let me see here. There might be a problem with the project dependency tree. It is likely not a bug in Create React app, but something you need to fix locally. The React scripts package provided by Create React requires a dependency of ESLint 6.1.0. Let's see, ESLint, dev dependencies, ESLint, Cypress plugin. Where did I see that at? Let me see 2 ESLints in there. Let's try the package lock maybe. I don't know what they're talking about. But it says don't try to install it manually. Your package manager does it automatically. However, a different version of ESLint was detected higher in the tree. Higher up in the tree. Okay. Manually install. So manually installing incompatible versions is known to hard to debug issues. If you prefer to ignore this check, then you can do this. That will permanently disable this message, but you might encounter other issues. To fix the dependency tree, try the following steps in the exact order. Delete the package lock.json, and delete the node modules in your project folder. Remove ESLint from the dependency and or dev dependencies in the package.json file from your run npm install. In most cases, it should be enough to fix it. All right, so let's try that, right? So first and foremost, delete the package lock.json. So let's delete it. You are out. Now delete node modules folder. Okay, where is node modules? All right, you are out. Crap, we're gonna have to do the whole install over again. That's gonna suck. All right, you're out. So all right, so that's gone. Gone with the wind. Let's see here. And it says remove ESLint from dependencies or dev dependencies in the package.json file. So let's see here. I don't see ESLint in here. Let's look at dev dependencies maybe. So there's this ESLint plugin for Cypress, but that's not even the version that they were talking about. Are there any other package.json files? Let's see. So there is this one. So that's just creating a new one then. So that's not the one that we want. All right. Not sure. Let's see. I don't see an ESLint in there. I wonder if I can comment this line out. I don't know. Oh, nope. Let's just delete it. I don't know. All right. So let's try npm install again. Install dependencies from. We don't have a. Oh, we do have a. Oh, let's check the yarn log actually. I don't know. We'll leave that too, just in case. All right, so now let's go back over here. Let's do another npm install. That's gonna take another forever to get it done, but you know, it is what it is. Let's see. Oh, that's happening. Let me see if I can find another test project just in case it doesn't work, and we can pivot very, very quickly. Let's see. This might work. Let's see. This might work. See if this doesn't work, let's try to pivot real quick. This one might be too old too. We will find something. Oh, this might work. Okay, this one should work. If just need something to start up, to be honest with you. All right. So I have another one that we can use. While this is installing, we can take a look at it real quick. We can probably use, I got it from here. I don't know how big it is, but it is a, I don't, it's like, it says Simborg by the BBC is the BBC React Spa, currently serving millions of users in production. So it's like how to start up, I don't know. And then there's this thingy over here. If that doesn't work, we'll just probably take one of those. Go alert by target is an open source on-call scheduler, similar to PagerDuty or OpsGenie. This would be pretty cool. Hopefully one of these should be able to get us to where we want to be. I was thinking about this one, but it was like super old. Real world. Maybe that one too. Jura clone. One of those should work for us. Let me see how long ago this one has been updated. 8 years. Yeah, that's not going to work. This one was a while ago too, so we'll stick to this one. Hopefully it's not too bad to get it. But if all right, so if it fails, we will go to that one instead. All right. So this is currently indexing the dependencies. Hopefully it's done soon. Taking its sweet precious time. Let me stop it again like we did last time. I think it gets hung up on that one. All right, so here we are. Let's try to start it again. All right. If we go here. I'm gonna have a bunch of issues with this thing. I think because it's so old. Well, let's see if we try to let's try this, right? Because we just need to start up, right? So I don't want to waste more time trying to get another repo. Let's do here. dot env, and we add that, we add that, and we say, try it again. Oh, cool. So we're good. All right. It opened up with errors, and it crashed and burned. Crash with Babel, of course. I have one more option if we need to, but I was trying to avoid that. Trying to avoid that, but there we go. All right. Let's see what we're gonna do here. One more time, just to be safe. Yeah, Babel's correct. Let's see if we turn off the Babel dependency then. I'm gonna have Babel in here. I wonder where it's getting these dependencies from because Babel's not even in here. Probably if I do the same thing here. Let's see. Yeah. All right, cool. Whatever. We are going, let's just go to a different repo. Sucks. Wasting our time. All right, so let's try this one. Let me see. We'll try another one. All right, so we're gonna try the BBC one. Let's go to terminal. Let me download another repo. I think that this one should work because it's been updated as recent as like 3 weeks ago. So git clone. All right. Go to full screen real quick. I am going to open. All right. So here we are. Let's see. Where are files? I see no files in here. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's still downloading. That's why. It's still downloading. So we don't see anything in there yet. Running pretty slow too. Let's see. So while we're waiting for that, let's take a look at what we're going to have to do. So we are going to. All right. So renders. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to. Let's see. How do we start this up? Let's see. Is it even worth it? Let's see. Installation. And then we're gonna go to article pages are served at the route. There are 2 news articles available to test. There's also app HTML. How big is this thing? This thing is taking forever to download. Let me see something. Do download zip. Let's see how big this file is, because this thing is taking forever. Let's see here. Doesn't say. Doesn't say how big it is. It's going super, super slow through Git. I don't know why it's going that slow. This would be a cool site for us to actually test on, because this is more of a like a production type site that would come across that would be working on in a workplace, in a company, So let's see. You know what? While we're at it, I'm just gonna go ahead and work. I'm gonna do this, right? Because this other site that I built is in React. Uh, mm, all right, let's do this. Let's see if this will start up.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
Let's see here. The same thing. NPM start. Okay. We are going to figure this out. Before we go on break, we're going to get a site working for when we come back. We will actually be able to start using the SafeTest, right? Because that's what we really want to do. But without a site, we won't be able to use SafeTest. Let me go to VS Code, actually. Let's go to full screen. VS Code. Ugh. Okay. This app should work in VS Code. Let's go to recent. Let's see here. Let's see. If we can get this to start, we'll be in a good spot. JSON. Let's try another one. Let's see what happens. Such a weird error. Okay, so let's see what's going on with this. Why are we getting this error? I think I'm getting the same error in both locations. We're looking at this error right here. See why we're getting it. Try to fix that. So how to fix the error OSS? All right, so this is what we're getting. How to fix it? As mentioned, it knows everything. Generally occurs when your application or one of its modules seems to use algorithm, but no longer allowed by default. Okay, so upgrade Node.js by downloading and installing the latest Node.js LTS version. Use if you can't or don't want to update your Node.js version, you can fix the problem with a workaround. Let's see. Use in the npm script in the start. So it would be let's try that. Let's try that real quick, right? Copy that. And let's see. See what the error that we got for the BMI calculator was. Babel. Go over here. All right, let's see. Let me try to run this again to see what error we got. If it's that same error, we're going to try to pass in that key. Yep. All right. So that's the error that we got. So let's try to pass in the let's try to pass in that value that the article mentioned. Let's go to this one, not this one. It is the package.json. And we're looking for this. We're going to just drop in that right there. And we are going to try to run it again. Well, it's taking longer than it filled before. Let's see. Hey, look at that. What am I looking at? You can't see what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at.
They ain't believe in us.
They did not believe in us, but we got it to work. Here we are, right? So let's play with it real quick before we go to break. So let's say your weight in kg is 76 kilogram. Your height is 200. And we do calculate BMI. And we have something show up. We need 7 days of data, huh? Okay. We're gonna do another one. Let's say 47, or that's not, say 74. And you're still the same height. We do here, we get on the same date range, but we have some more data, right? So let's do 2 more. Say 73, and you're still, let's say now, I don't know, maybe you grew, maybe you're very, very young and you're growing. Let's say 210, maybe, within the span of a few seconds. So here we are. All right. So the BMI went down. So we have these calculations here, right? So that's what we're going to be working on when we get back. So we are winning. We will not, I repeat, we are engineered to win. We will not allow them to hold us back. We are forever going to be winning, okay? So let's go to break. In this break, we are going to be looking at this Robert C. Martin, Uncle Bob, little blurb about QA and his thoughts on it, all right? So let me get it staged up for you. And let's put our 5 minutes up on the clock, although I'm not sure if it's going to be longer or shorter than 5 minutes, but we will make do. And let's get to watching. So at the beginning, I asked, what should QA find? And Uncle Bob is going to talk about QA should find nothing. All right, let's go.
When you write a bunch of code you hand it to QA, what should they find? Nothing. QA should find nothing. They should wonder why the heck they have a job. And that should be your goal. You should be looking over at those QA guys and going, you're not going to find anything. Next year, you won't be here. We'd like to take QA and have them do a slightly different job, actually, because having them work at the back end is an awful thing to do to people. Imagine that this is your job.
Have it on fast.
You're going to, has anybody seen what?
Let me take it off speed, off 2x.
Nothing. They should nothing. QA. This is the end result of QA. When you write a bunch of code, you hand it to QA, what should they find? Nothing. QA should find nothing. They should wonder why the heck they have a job. And that should be your goal. You should be looking over at those QA guys and going, you're not going to find anything. Next year, you won't be here. We'd like to take QA and have them do a slightly different job, actually, because having them work at the back end is an awful thing to do to people. Imagine that this is your job.
So what do you think QA should do, right? Like, what do you think about his idea that QA should find nothing, right? We shouldn't find anything as QA engineers, as QA testers. Like when we were testing, what the developers have built, and because I know there's a lot of people, especially in the past, like they were like so eager to find bugs, so excited. Oh, I found this bug! I found this bug! I found this bug! But do you think that you should be looking for bugs, or that you should be happy to find bugs, or do you think that is a failure somewhere when you find a bunch of bugs in the code that the developers have put out for you to test, right? So what do you think? Is it good to find a bunch of bugs, or is it unfortunate to find a bunch of bugs?
You're going to, has anybody seen what the QA test plan looks like? There it is. Anybody seen the QA test plan? That's not the QA test plan. That's the table of contents for the QA test plan. The guy holding it out to me is the QA manager of a large internet travel organization. He's got 80,000 manual tests that he farms out to India every 6 weeks. It costs him $1 million every 6 weeks to run those manual tests. He's holding it out to me because he's just come back from a meeting.
So Good Guy says everyone makes mistakes. Ideal world does not exist. So we're not talking about making mistakes and stuff like that. The concept from this video is about like professionalism in the software development industry, right? And the thing is, what I'm referring to and what is referring to in the video is the mindset of you just write a bunch of code and then you dump it over to QA, and then now my work is done, and now QA has to go and find all of the mistakes that I made, right? Which is not about making mistakes. Yes, everyone makes mistakes. There's always going to be defects. There's always going to be stuff like that. But it's how you approach writing code. And like I'm going to drop the link of this video in the chat because I highly recommend that everyone who is in that everyone watches it who is in tech and stuff like that. But it's about how you approach QA and how you approach writing code, and what would be the actual valuable purpose that QA can bring outside of just like being defect and bug hunters, being exterminators, right? Because so yeah, let's keep watching it a little bit, right? There's not much left.
His boss, who just came back from a meeting with the CFO, and the CFO said, "What the hell is this $1 million every 6 weeks that we're spending?" And he's talking to me now saying, I just got my budget cut by 50%. Which half of these tests should I not run? I told him it doesn't matter. You can cut the document any one of a bunch of different ways. You're not going to know if half your system works. This is the end result of manual.
Get a move on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go.
Manual
Come on,
tests
get a move
grow
on.
and grow
Back to
because
work.
the
Back
features
to
of
work.
the
Back
system
to work.
grow and grow. And at some point, grow the end result of a bunch of different ways. You're not going to know if half your system works. This is the end result of manual testing. Manual tests grow and grow because the features of the system grow and grow. And at some point, the effort required to execute those manual tests will become so expensive that some financial officer will spot it and say that must be cut.
And it's
you lose
impossible.
your tests. It will happen. The only solution to that is to automate those tests. I don't want QA finding anything, and I want all the tests that QA writes. I want QA writing the tests, by the way. I want all the tests that QA writes to be executed automatically. I don't want any manual tests in the system. Manual tests are fundamentally immoral.
I 100%
mean that
agree.
You can't have people sitting there operating the system. I like the idea of exploratory tests, but I don't want them given a script. These are the tests you must pass. Imagine that's your job. You've got to follow that script. Has anybody looked at what that's like? Enter P9537 into the username field. Hit return. Enter QX723 into the password field. Click login. Did the welcome screen come up? This is your job. And you're going to repeat that every 6 weeks.
Every day. Like, yeah, like, I don't know about you guys, but that sounds absolutely horrendous to me. And that's why I always tell people, like, hey, you need to learn the basics, the comprehensive of like testing, like the different parts of it and stuff like that. But you are not, like, your chances of getting a job as a manual tester are slim to none. Your chances of getting a job as an entry level QA is hard enough as it is. You need to jump into automated testing, and that way you can actually start to add more value to the team and have a better chance of getting a job, right? Good Guy says, where is this message? 80,000? Use commas, Good Guy. 80,000 manual could be transformed to much less automation tests with the same coverage. Working with Fortune 500 companies, I have seen results. Yeah, you are totally right. You are totally right with that. You could definitely transform those tests into much less manual automated tests and have better coverage. And here's the thing, right? And when you're working with the developers, there are some tests that are going to be covered with API tests, or not API, but yeah. But there's some tests that are going to be covered by unit tests. Then there's going to be some tests that's going to be covered by API tests, and then there's going to be some tests and it should be like very minimal that are covered with UI tests, right? And the tests that are covered with UI tests or that might need to be manually, they should not be imported. He talks about this in the video, right? But your business logic should not be reliant on UI tests that can be very, very flaky. Should be like minor, like a misalignment or something like that, but they shouldn't like be like the root cause of having issues. But yeah, like you're definitely right. Like all those manual tests, especially like with things that happen repetitively, you know, where you can do like a before method or before all, whatever the case may be. But yeah, let's finish this up real quick and then we're gonna get back to work.
One last.
All right, we're done with that. All right, cool. So very good video. Like this part is really, really good. I would recommend that you watch the whole video, and it's really gonna help you with like professionalism in the software development software industry. All right. So let's get rid of that and let's go back to full screen. And we have our app started. We are good to go. We are going to get with our last step. We're going to start working with SafeTest. All right. Probably our last segment for the night. And then we're going to, if we have to, we'll bring this back up next week, right? Because we want to spend as much time as possible with SafeTest and get familiar with it to see if this would be working for us in our whatever it is that we're doing, right? Imagine going to an interview. Oh yeah, I sampled out SafeTest and I was able to do this and that and you know, so many options. All right. So let's pull up our most likely our last 20 minutes of the night. So let's do.
It's time to do.
Okay, so we were looking at the BMI calculator. This is it right here. We see that it's working. It's tracking information. It has everything that we logged into here. We could take something out apparently. If we click on this, cool. Right. So let me add one more. We're gonna stop because we need to install the SafeTest. Right. So let's go over to here and let's all right, we have so we have this. We are going to go all the way up to the instructions. So we're going to go up here, right? So we're getting started. So this is what we're going to do. Let me go back over here. We're going to stop this. And we are going to go to terminal and we're going to follow along. I don't have to share the screen, but you will be able to see what we're doing over here, right? So we're going to do npm install and then save dev to add it as a dev dependency. And we're going to say SafeTest, right? Just like that. And it should install SafeTest into our project, right? But yeah, I really like the book, clean coder. Those talks about professionalism in the software development industry, and even like as a QA person, like I just always thinking about how to add more value, how to make our team work better, and you know, and like one of the things that I'm always trying to do is like how to prevent how to prevent defects from happening after the developers are done on their end. So I'm trying to add as much information and context, risk, and things to think about as early in the process as possible, so that when we go to test, we run our regression test. We do like the minimal manual testing that's required just for that feature, and try to get it automated at the same time, so that we don't have to we don't have a suite of manual tests that we run on a regular basis, right? And the part that we work on is like one of the most complex parts in the company. So it is really I really appreciate the fact that our testing is so comprehensive that, you know, and then when things do happen, then we add tests around that to prevent it, and we're always looking for new ways to do stuff. Right. So we are added, and the next thing we're gonna do is we can look together. We are going to add the run command to the package.json for SafeTest. So we're gonna take this right here, I believe. Copy that. And we're gonna go back over here. Actually, I think we need the whole thing, actually, to be honest with you. Let me see. Let's just copy the whole thing and see what happens. Let's take that, and we're gonna go add the following lines here, package.json. It already exists in there. Okay, so yeah, I think I just need these 3 lines right here. Let's copy that. Let's go. Hold on. Go like that. Just take that, and let's go over to here. So I believe we just need to drop that in there like that, hopefully. And okay. And the preceding script runs the default runner. Together. The preceding script runs the default runner React scripts with a couple of flags and environment variables to make sure SafeTest is loaded and run with jest. And that's all. Dot dash SafeTest file text was tested. You may need to adjust your there was something I remember we needed to add, right? So this is why. Okay, so this is why SafeTest. Okay, getting started. We got that. Let's see. So no, all right. Add the setup safe in the root of your project. All right, so let's do that. Let's go to here, and we're gonna do new file setup dash safe test.tsx, and we're gonna copy this into it. Okay. This file is let's go read some more. This file is the minimal setup required to get SafeTest working. It's also where you configure SafeTest by specifying options to the setup function. All right, we're not using bytest. All right. If you're using bytest, you'll need to add the following. Okay, we're not using bytest. Bootstrapping your application. All right, so here we are. Bootstrapping our application. We are going to add this code right here to our index file. Although this probably should be named .jsx, I'm thinking, because if we are looking in, let's see, what is this written in TSX or JSX? Components app JSX. I wonder if this needs to be app. I don't know. When we try to run it, we'll find out. But I'm going to rename. Let's see. So let's copy that. We're gonna go and we're going to open import app from So wait, there is an index file. Hold on. So it would be okay. So this one, but it is JSX. So we're going to add right here, right there, right, and then we are going to copy. How do we copy this? Who's gonna copy all of this with us? I don't think that's gonna be good. Let me see something. They shouldn't have. Oh, they made it so hard to copy this. But we are not using. In order. All right. So I mean, we'll see. We shall see. All right. But the problem is, how am I gonna copy this? Let me see if I just go like that. Let's see if it's gonna copy it without the plus signs. Nope. Jesus Christ, why would they do that? All right, let's see. Is there a way that we can get this? It's dumb. All right. Where could I get this code from? I need this code right here. Let's see if they have it over here. Let's go with. Let's see. What folder is that? Index in. It's in the source folder. So don't see the index. There we go. Not that one. Index examples. Let's try this one. I can't type that whole thing out. It's too long. That's annoying. So I'd say that's a issue in the documentation of not being able to easily copy that code that we need. Let's see. Got this file. All right. Let me try to go to. Let's see if I can fix this. Let's see. Did it have a. Not this one. Is there a find and Let's see if we do this. You're kidding me here. Find plus replace with nothing. There we go. Copy to clipboard. Copy to clipboard. And we go back over to all right. So let's look at this now. We are going to React DOM render root. We're going to comment that out, apparently. Let's go back over here. And we're going to paste that. Oh, what the heck? Let's go again. All right, I got it this time, I hope. Okay, there we go. So annoying. All right. Got that. What else is there to do? I really don't know if we're going to be able to use this TSX. We might have to use JSX, but that's what we have here. I'm just going to, what is the error that we're having here? Semicolon, maybe? Expected comma? What are you talking about? You're talking about Willis. Let's see. That. Oh, okay. I think I know what's going on. Okay. Gotcha. I did not get the very last bit of it. All right. Let's put this here. All right, cool. So we got that. That's okay. Creating your first test. All right, let's try to create our first test, right? I don't think I'm gonna be able to use TypeScript in this. So real quick, let's change this to JSX. Now that you've set up SafeTest, you can start writing your first test. Create a file called source app.safetest. All right, so let's do that. We're going to source new file or new we'll try it. We'll follow what they say, and then we will fix it as we come along, right? So app.safetest.ts. Like that. I'm gonna add that. See what happens. All right. So now we can do import describe it expect, and then say that's coming from SafeTest Jest. right? And we go ahead and close that. And then we're going to say import render. From SafeTest /React. All right. And then we're going to do, I don't know what we're going to do because we're not too familiar with this thing. I'll figure that part out later. Let's take a look at some of the tests that they have in Cypress actually. Describe by visit here. So let's take a look at, we don't need to look at there. So we can look at the app itself and see what they have in here. Let's see. They have BMI form. We're looking over here. They have from, let's see what else they have. App.test. There we go. So if we go over here, we have BMI form. And then we're probably going to be exporting BMI.
Lunch
form.
break! Lunch break!
All right, here's what we're going to do, right? We are going to go for an extra 20 after our break, and then we'll stop, right? And then we can always pick up next week. But we are getting into the thick of things, and it is just too much fun to quit now. So let's go ahead and take a break real quick, and then we'll come back for one last 20-minute segment, and then we will wrap it up and pick it up next week if we have to, right? But we are just about to see, I'm pretty sure that whatever we're setting up right now, because doing it on a JSX and then they're showing us in TSX, we're going to have some issues. We're going to have to clean some things up, but we are here for it, all right? So let's get to break. Let's put a 5-minute timer up. And like I said, we're going to read the next part of Bridget's article. So where is it? All right. So we're going to talk about reframing the stress. All right. Shout out to Bridget as always. And let's get to our share. So reframing the stress, right? Socializing can be stressful. Stressful things suck, but we don't want to do them. So we don't want to do them, right? So stressful things suck, so we don't want to do them. Well, that is true, but I am of the David Goggins mentality. Do the things that suck, except for running. I hate running, but to quote Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, the problem is not the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem. One solution to make socializing less stressful is to reframe the situation and thereby change our attitude from something that sucks to something that is fun or interesting or tolerable at the very least. This takes time and practice. Here are some ideas for reframing networking. Remember when you were a kid and you would go to the playground and you would make a friend for the day? No, I don't remember that at all, actually. I don't think I ever made friends for the day. You had the best time together even though you didn't know them. Networking is the grown-up version of that. Find your friend for that Chamber of Commerce happy hour mixer, or that online conference. Forget about your career for now and think about making friends instead of industry connections. It is much easier to meet someone as a person than a title or position.
Message.
If you have ever dealt with anxious thoughts, you may have been told you may have been told to tell yourself that you are excited. As someone who has dealt with anxiety over the years, I have used this trick. Yes, even outgoing networking enthusiasts can have anxiety. Oh, my goodness. In a moment of confidence last week, you signed up to go to a meetup. I went to a meetup this past weekend, actually. I met up with the Grammar Hub people down here in South Florida. Now the day is here and the meetup is in 2 hours and you don't want to do it. Your stomach hurts and your heart is pounding. Doo-doop, doo-doop, doo-doop. I have been there. Try to reframe your thinking. Oh my goodness, I am glad I signed up for that meetup. I'm so excited to meet some people in tech in my area and check out that new restaurant I have never been to before. This is exactly what happened this over the weekend, right? I mean, I wasn't like I was going to go regardless, but I did go to a new place, met some new people, really cool people, had some great conversations, offered some amazing insight, and heard some amazing perspectives as well. When you get to the venue, do a few arm swings and hop up and down a few times like an Olympian swimmer or an MMA fighter getting ready to go. I mean, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so that makes sense. This is going to be great, as Tony the Tiger would say. You can also think of the other person as a spider or a snake or a mouse or another small but scary critter. They are more afraid of you than you are of them. I mean, I am terrified of snakes and rats, right? Especially New York City rats, crying out loud. All right. This is an exaggeration for comedic purposes, of course. The point is that they might also be nervous to talk to you. I have had coffee chats with several people who told me they don't like to reach out to other people, but they were happy to talk to me and glad I reached out to them. You might have a great conversation that never would have happened if you didn't psych yourself up to send that DM. This is a great. You know what? I didn't put it in the chat. Let me drop it in the chat for you guys. You guys go and show some support and love to my friend Bridget and her amazing article on how you could level up your networking game, your networking skills. This is true networking. This is real networking. Not like, you go to some conference and then there's like a bunch of people there who are all in the same exact position who are trying to level up with you. And they are all your competitors, right? This is real networking events for people in the industry. It's great, so go ahead and go get with a group of people who are going in the same direction as you. Right. Next week we will pick up on this article. We're going to read the strategies.
Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
We're going to read up on the strategies on networking and how to get those skills, how to build that networking muscle, that effective networking muscle. Okay. You are very, very welcome. Good guy, as always. All right, so let's get into a last 20-minute segment, and then we're going to wrap it up. We are going to wrap it up after that, but I was just too excited that we're getting so close. So let's figure this thing out a little bit more, okay? So last 20 minutes is full screen. Last 20 minutes is up on the clock.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right, so here we are, right? Here we are. Let's see. We are looking at SafeTest. Okay, so they said to import inside of this this one right here. They said to import, and then we're going to import. Let's go with the BMI form. BMI form from folder am I in for this? What folder am I in? I'm in the source folder. So this would be in the components folder. Components. Oops. Is that right? Or do I need? Okay, let's see what this is. Remove cannot find module BMI form. Why is my import not working? So dot slash. So let me see. Why is it? Yeah, we're testing a component, right? So you can do testing the whole app, and then you can also do testing the component, and then we're doing the header, which we're importing the header. So let's try component slash BMI slash yeah. I go to BMI form. We're exporting BMI form. Should be able to import that. But it says it has. Oh, wait a second. Component resolve was resolved to not set. So let's see if we rename this to .jsx. I thought would be a problem. Okay, cool. There we go. So I am going to then also excuse me. I'm going to also rename this to JSX. I thought it would be a problem, right? Because we're not using TypeScript in this project. All right. So JSX. All right. So we have that. All right. So what I did was, I wasn't sharing. What I did was I renamed this to, remember, as I said, like it felt weird, right? That it was TSX and this project is in JSX. So I renamed this to JSX and I just renamed the SafeTest, set up SafeTest as well to JSX. We'll see what happens, right? It should be able to work, but we'll find out. All right. So we are continuing to work. Okay. So I'm going to, so we're going to continue doing this. I'll be doing it on the other screen. I'll be showing the other screen while I'm like typing this stuff out. All right. So we can do first this thing, the page load and to render, and we can be validating that the BMI tracker header showed. All right. And let's look at this real quick. It is a H1. All right. So I'm going to be doing that. All right, let's switch screens and I'll just start typing it out over here, right? So describe, and we're going to say that BMI calculator app, and we're going to go here like that. Or did I make a mistake? Oh yeah, I forgot the comma. Of course I forgot the comma, right? So describe, and we're going to say it, BMI calculator app renders without crashing. And ideally, I would, like, you know how I feel about TED. I would be working on this, like building this via test-driven development. And then we're going to say here. So ideally, like I would write this like test-driven development, right? Write enough test code to have a failing test, and as soon as it fails, you write the production code. You just go through that iterative cycle, right? So that's what I'm already thinking about doing. Like, and maybe I'll be using SafeTest in one of my upcoming projects, right? You know, so we'll see. Because if Netflix is using it, then why aren't I, right? Why aren't I using it? If one of the biggest, most profitable companies is using it, then why aren't Tech Coach Ralph, right? So, and trust me, this is definitely going to go on my resume and going on my LinkedIn as soon as we're done with this, right? Better believe that. All right, so we're saying const. Let's close this out so you guys can have a better view of this. And we can close this out as well. Const. And we're going to say page. And we're going to say equals await render. And close that out. And await expect page dot locator. So this is using Cypress, not Cypress, Playwright. And we're gonna say page dot locator, and we're gonna say text equals b. What is the text on the page? BMI tracker. All right. I would have rather used CSS selector. So let's try to do to be visible. Okay, whatever. We'll just leave it as this for now, but we'll probably change it in the future. All right, so let's do that. Leave it as this for now. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna run this test, right? And we'll see, because I don't want to put the second test already, the component test. We'll see what happens, and then we shall fix it or whatever we need to do, right? So first and foremost, we need to actually be our application needs to be running. So let's see if we have any errors when it's trying to run. All right, so that's working. So our BMI tracker is up and running. And we are now going to, let's make sure. Uh-oh, let's see. All right, so we do have an error, which we were expecting. We tried to start it, but there was an error. So let's fix the error real quick. Failed to compile. All right, so starting the, why did that fail? All right, so source index.js. In here. And you may need an additional loader to handle the results of. I have no idea what that means. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, wait a second. Let me see something over here. Where we at it was. Okay, so get element by ID. So this might have to be root. Let's see. Unexpected token. Let me compare this again. Should just copy the whole thing. Looks like I got everything. Let's try running it again. Let's see here. Oh, all right. So let's see. Module parsed unexpected token 29. So 29 to 33. Line 29. Very strange. All right, what is going on? That's unexpected token. You may need to handle the results of these loaders. Mm, let me see. The weird thing, I didn't see this in any of their examples, so it was hard to actually. The above magic makes use of. I'm reading over now. Let's see. Without having to worry about setting up separate tests. All right. Let's see. Separate test project or by having test being loaded when loading your application. The is dev check is only really needed if you don't want to leak your test into production, but it's not strictly necessary. In this project, it is turned off for the example since I want to test against the final deployed app to keep things simple. Okay. The issue that I'm running in is let's see this part right here. Okay. So let's see if we go to here. So this isn't right. This would be index. No, not index. There is no bootstrap. Okay. It's gonna be what is the file? It's looking for the bootstrap file. And this one was index.tsx. I don't have a file named. Create a file in the root of your project and add the following code. But I don't have a main.tsx file. Let me see something. Let's go to examples. And let's look for main.tsx. What is in this main.tsx file? Okay, so this would be the um this would be the index.js. So why do they have it as index file and root bootstrap react and then Because they said add it in the. Let's open up a new one. So in order for SafeTest to work, usually your index.tsx. So if this is index.tsx, I think I have index.tsx in here or JSX. Index. There's no index.tsx. I do think it's going to be the. Okay, so let's go to. Let's see, take this out. Oh, here would be inside the source folder. Okay. Let's see what happens with that then. All right, let's see what happens. Who knows? Let's stop and rerun. We're still having this error, so we're gonna have to figure out how to fix this part right here. But it's saying 29 to 33, and the module parse failed. File was processed with these loaders. You may need additional loaders to handle the results of these loaders. You know what? You know what? Actually, let's see. We might need to go to our package.json. This stuff, this thing right here. No, but we're just doing a start. So I'm just doing a start. So that shouldn't do it. Okay. Well, we will have. What happens if we just comment it out, to be honest with you? We just comment this whole thing out.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
Let's try to run it one more time and see what we get. Fail to compile. Oh, you may need additional loaders to handle the results. You may need an additional loader to handle the result of. I don't think I'm using React 18, but well, why not while we're here, right? While we're here, why not? I don't know what version of React I'm using, but let's see. Let's do a quick search of what this error means. Module parse failed unexpected token. What is that leading us to? Okay. I probably don't have a webpack config file. Oh, might be something dumb that because I don't know about it. Okay, so it's out. What? Let me see. Apparently it happened because you have two module properties in the webpack config object. What webpack config object? Webpack config. I don't even have a webpack. I don't. Let me see. Webpack contact. I have no idea what webpack is. Does anybody know what webpack is? It says you have two. Well, that makes sense because that couldn't work together. You have two, and particular case, the latter was overriding the former, so Webpack ended up configured without TypeScript loader config at all. So weird. Let's see. If I copy this real quick. Yeah, I think we'll pick this up for one more week. I'll try to figure out how to get past this, and then next we can like continue with our test. But I mean, we wrote our first test. It's kind of blocking us because we are failing to compile because some module parse failed unexpected. Oh wait, it failed over here. Let's see. So if we go into all right. SafeTest, lib. Mm, 26. Anyways, pick this up next week, right? We're going to dig into it a little bit more. But we're making progress. We got our application to run that we're going to be testing on. We actually created our first SafeTest test, but it wasn't so safe because we are getting errors when trying to run it. So when trying to start up the app. So I'll do some more research to get this app started, and then we shall get the app started, and then we shall continue with it. Like see if we can run some tests, and then maybe we'll even transition to it going forward for our different, if we use React, we'll transition to it. So we'll see. But yeah, so that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, good guy, for being here as always. Shout out to you, good guy.
I appreciate you.
So hopefully you found this exploration with me somewhat helpful and informative, and see the ways that we troubleshoot when we're trying to learn new things, and how we can use Google and stuff like that to figure out what's going on. All that, right? So hopefully that was you had fun with that. And we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet already, go ahead and like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time that we go live. And as well, if you need one-on-one help with me, coaching from me, go ahead and go over to www.techcoachroff.dev, where you can sign up to become a Patreon member, and you can sign up for exclusive content as well as one-on-one coaching with me. So we're going to wrap it up. As I always like to do before we go, I have to know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Are you entertained? Because
I mean, all we do is win, man. You know that.
Always winning. We are always, week to week, we are always winning. All right. We never suffer setbacks. We just encounter learning opportunities. We either win or we learn, and then we win. All right. So with that being said, yesterday's price is not today's price. Today's price is not tomorrow's price. So remember.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
The price of the brick is going up. All right. With that being said, I am out of here. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. We will be going live tomorrow morning, where we're going to continue working on Flutter, writing some more widget tests. All right. Have a good night and enjoy, and, watch it on replay. Check out the articles that I shared. Download it for yourself. If you get it to work before me, leave me a comment in the video and I will check it out, and we will have some more fun next week. All right. On that note, we are out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Hear me, warriors of the North. Today we have tasted the sweet nectar of victory. Our foes indeed defeated, and their lands are now bow before us. The gods themselves have favored our glorious deeds on this glorious day. We have shed blood, sweat, and tears to claim this land. Our relentless spirit, our unyielding determination. These are the very essence of our people. It's been our ancestors rejoice in the halls of Valhalla. For today, we have added to their eternal glory. Our victories will echo throughout the ages, and our names will be etched in the annals of history. But let us not forget the present pain the brothers and sisters we lost. They now feast in the hall of our forefathers, watching over us with pride. Their sacrifice has paved the way for this moment of triumph. As we celebrate this conquest, let us also remember that our journey is far from over. More land awaits our conquest, more battles call us forth, and the fire in our hearts burn ever brighter, for there is no limit to what we can achieve. To those who dare stand against us, let them tremble in fear, for they shall witness the fury of the northern storm, the wrath of the untamed barbarians. Today we celebrate our victory. Tomorrow we set our sights on new horizons. A charted land where our banners will fly high. When we're Vikings, we're barbarians, we're the masters of conquest.